Have you ever found yourself in a crowded room, quietly going about your own business, when suddenly someone calls out your name and demands that you speak, perform, or justify yourself right then and there? In that split second, your heart may skip a beat, and your mind could go blank, struggling to come up with a response. For Sigma males, however, it's far more than just an uncomfortable moment. It's a direct clash with their very essence. Unlike the stereotypical alpha or beta males, a Sigma male is a unique individual who operates outside of the social hierarchy and doesn't crave validation from others. They carve their own path, move at their own pace, and steadfastly refuse to conform to anyone else's expectations. So, what is it about being unexpectedly thrust into the spotlight that rubs them the wrong way? In this video, I'll delve into 10 key reasons why Sigma males despise being put on the spot. Number 1. Standing firm, even if it makes others uncomfortable. One of the biggest misconceptions about Sigma males is that they are non-confrontational or even passive simply because they often keep to themselves. It's easy for people to assume that the quiet, introspective individual in the room won't make waves or stand up for themselves. However, this assumption couldn't be further from the truth. While Sigmas may not seek confrontation, they certainly don't shy away from it when necessary, especially when they're being pressured or publicly challenged. When a Sigma male is put on the spot or confronted with an unfair demand, he won't hesitate to assert his boundaries. In fact, he'll do so with a level of quiet intensity that may surprise those around him. While others may try to avoid conflict or smooth things over for the sake of harmony, a Sigma male won't sacrifice his principles or values to keep the peace. If it means enduring some discomfort or awkward silence, he'll do it without hesitation. He knows that standing firm in his beliefs is far more important than seeking approval or trying to appease the crowd. This can be unsettling for onlookers who expect him to bend to social pressure or give in to group dynamics. The Sigma's ability to remain unmoved in such situations may lead some to admire his uncheckable conviction and strength of character, while others might harbor resentment or frustration. But the Sigma male is indifferent to these reactions. He values personal peace and integrity over social approval. He's perfectly comfortable in silence, especially if it means protecting his boundaries or remaining true to himself. In a world where conformity is often valued over individuality, the Sigma male's refusal to compromise can be a bold, memorable statement. People will remember the man who didn't give in to peer pressure, who refused to perform for the sake of appearances, and who stayed true to his convictions despite the discomfort it may have caused. This unwavering stance earns both respect and confusion, but for the Sigma, it's all about maintaining control over his own life and decisions. After all, he knows that authenticity is far more powerful than playing a role in the drama others expect. Number 2. Intentional delay tactics. In moments of tension, where everyone is waiting for a response, Sigma males often have a unique way of taking control of the situation. They slow everything down. While others may feel rushed to react in real time or give an immediate response to relieve the pressure, the Sigma male embraces the silence. He might pause for a beat longer than expected, take a deliberate sip of water, or simply stare at the person who's putting him on the spot, using the silence as a subtle but powerful tool. This intentional delay is a power move in itself. It serves as a reminder that he's not beholden to the rhythm of the room or the urgency of the moment. By deliberately taking his time, the Sigma male signals that he is the one in control of the pace, not the crowd. In a society that often expects rapid-fire responses and constant hustle, this calculated delay can be jarring and even uncomfortable for others. It disrupts the flow of conversation and forces people to acknowledge that he will not be rushed into a decision or a performance. This pause doesn't just throw off others' expectations. It gives the Sigma male valuable time to gather his thoughts, weigh his options, and respond in a way that aligns with his own values. It's an opportunity for him to think critically, ensuring that his words or actions will carry the impact he intends. This ability to remain calm under pressure, to maintain composure in the face of social demands, gives the Sigma male a distinct advantage. When he does finally speak, his words are measured, deliberate, and impactful. Everyone in the room knows that every word has been carefully chosen. Moreover, the act of slowing down the conversation often shifts the focus back onto the Sigma, it serves as a reminder that being singled out doesn't mean he's lost control of the situation. He hasn't been manipulated into reacting on someone else's terms. Instead, he's simply setting the tempo of the interaction to suit his own pace. In a world that often values speed and instant gratification, this intentional delay is a quiet assertion of power, a reminder that the Sigma male operates on his own timeline, and that he refuses to be rushed or coerced into anything. In the end, whether it's in a high-pressure situation or a casual encounter, the Sigma male's ability to remain unhurried gives him the upper hand. His responses are never impulsive, they are calculated and poised, earning the attention and respect of those around him. It's a subtle yet powerful technique that allows him to maintain control, even when the spotlight is on him. Number 3. Tendency to dismantle the question itself. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to dismantle questions in a way that turns the tables on the person trying to put them on the spot. Instead of offering a direct response, they may challenge the logic, reasoning, or assumptions behind the question itself. This isn't just a defense mechanism, it's a strategic move designed to regain control of the conversation and disrupt the social dynamics that are being imposed on them. They know that by questioning the questioner, they can deflect the pressure placed on them, buy themselves more time, and potentially expose any hidden agendas behind the inquiry. This behavior is reminiscent of great philosophers like Socrates, who became famous for his method of questioning and dialogue. Socrates would often answer a question with another question, forcing his interlocutors to think more deeply about the issue at hand and, in the process, reveal their own assumptions or flaws in logic. For the Sigma male, this method is second nature. Rather than feeling cornered or obligated to answer on the spot, he might ask, "Before I answer, can you explain why this is so urgent?" Or, "I'm curious, what are you hoping to achieve with this question?" By redirecting the focus back onto the person who's trying to corner him, the Sigma not only gains control over the situation, but also forces the other individual to explain their own motives and reasoning. This can be particularly disarming, as it puts the questioner on the defensive, making them justify why they are asking in the first place. In some cases, the Sigma may ask, "What do you expect to accomplish by putting me on the spot like this?" This simple yet powerful tactic forces the person to reveal whether their intent is genuine or if they are attempting to manipulate or control the situation for their own benefit. Not only does this buy the Sigma male precious moments to collect his thoughts, but it also allows him to see through any hidden agendas. If the question was posed with ulterior motives such as to embarrass, manipulate, or coerce, the Sigma will see it clearly and make his move accordingly. By the time he responds, the questioner may feel disarmed or unsure, realizing that the Sigma has not only avoided being trapped but has also taken command of the situation. It's a subtle form of mental dominance that turns the tables and ensures the Sigma remains in control of the conversation. Number 4. Rejecting emotional manipulation. One of the most common tactics used to put people on the spot is emotional manipulation. In these situations, someone may try to tug at a Sigma male's emotions to force him to react or speak, often by appealing to guilt or social pressure. Phrases like, "Come on, we need you," or "Everybody's waiting for you to say something," are typical examples of this strategy. The goal is to make the Sigma feel as though he's obligated to conform to the group's expectations or be seen as selfish or uncaring. However, Sigma males are highly attuned to psychological manipulation and can spot these tactics a mile away. They understand when someone is trying to play on their emotions, whether it's through guilt, flattery, or a sob story. Because of this keen awareness, Sigmas refuse to be swayed by emotional pressure. They're not easily manipulated because they don't base their decisions on social approval or the emotional needs of others. Instead, they prioritize their own values, integrity, and sense of personal autonomy. If a Sigma male senses that someone is trying to corner him emotionally, he'll simply ignore the manipulative attempt or respond with a calm, detached refusal. For example, he might simply shrug it off and say, "I'm not going to be rushed into a decision based on how you feel." The key here is that Sigmas don't let their emotions be used against them as a tool for social leverage. They understand the power dynamics at play and don't allow others to weaponize feelings in order to control or manipulate their actions. This doesn't mean that Sigma males lack empathy or the ability to connect with others on an emotional level. Rather, they value genuine, authentic interactions and will not tolerate emotional manipulation disguised as concern or camaraderie. For Sigmas, emotional manipulation is seen as a cheap tactic, one that undermines the integrity of human connection. They'd rather deal with someone directly and honestly, without the use of guilt or emotional ploys. In fact, the Sigma male's rejection of emotional manipulation often strengthens his sense of independence and reinforces his boundaries. It sends a clear message to others that they cannot easily influence or control him by appealing to his emotions. This steadfastness in the face of emotional manipulation only adds to the Sigma's reputation for self-reliance and mental fortitude. By refusing to succumb to these tactics, he maintains his sense of autonomy and ensures that his actions and decisions remain entirely his own. Number 5. Hyper-alert to social dynamics. Sigma males have a finely tuned radar for social dynamics, making them acutely aware of the subtleties in any room they enter. Their hypervigilance stems from an inherent need to understand the hidden motives of others. When they are suddenly put on the spot, their minds don't freeze. Instead, they switch into overdrive, rapidly processing every detail of the situation. Who's in the room? What are their intentions? What is the purpose of the sudden demand for attention? These thoughts flood the Sigma's mind almost immediately. For a Sigma, being put on the spot is like a social ambush. In these moments, alarm bells ring in their head. Why now? Why me? What's in it for them? They instinctively begin to evaluate the scenario through a psychological lens, analyzing what the other party stands to gain. Are they trying to pressure him into making a quick decision? Are they hoping to get him to reveal something personal or sensitive? Or is this simply a spectacle where they expect him to play a part? Sigmas don't just focus on the surface level. They scan the room for micro-expressions, body language, and tone-picking-up cues that others might miss. It's not paranoia, it's an intuitive, learned skill from years of experience navigating complex social landscapes. They have honed their ability to detect insincerity, manipulation, or hidden agendas. Because of this, Sigmas rarely fall into the trap of being caught off guard by social games. They don't get swept up in the excitement of the crowd or the pressure of being thrust into the spotlight. Instead, they remain calm, calculating every angle and potential consequence of their response. This hyper-awareness of social undercurrents can sometimes be misinterpreted as paranoia or an overly cautious approach to socializing. However, for a Sigma, it's simply the best form of self-defense. It's how they maintain control in an unpredictable world of social interactions. While others may be reacting impulsively or trying to gain approval from the group, the Sigma is several steps ahead, always evaluating whether a situation is worth his involvement or if it's just a trap disguised as an opportunity. Their ability to step back and process everything before speaking ensures they never make rash decisions or allow others to dictate their actions. Number 6. Direct assertion of boundaries. Although Sigmas are often viewed as quiet, introspective individuals who prefer to observe rather than engage, this doesn't mean they lack the capacity for strong confrontation when their boundaries are being violated. Far from being passive, Sigmas are fiercely protective of their personal space and mental peace, and they won't hesitate to assert their boundaries when necessary. When put on the spot or when someone attempts to pressure them into making a hasty decision, the Sigma doesn't simply freeze or comply. Instead, they become sharply aware of their personal limits, and if they feel those boundaries are being pushed, they will assert them without hesitation. A Sigma is not afraid to make it clear that they will not be manipulated or rushed into anything. They might say something as simple as, "This isn't the time or place for that," or "I'm not comfortable with this," but the weight of their words is unmistakable. Even a simple silence or cold stare can convey the intensity of their refusal. In many cases, this direct assertion of boundaries comes with a swift action. If the situation escalates or doesn't shift to a more respectful tone, the Sigma might decide to remove themselves entirely. Rather than engage in an uncomfortable or unfair interaction, Sigmas will simply walk away, leaving behind only the sense that they've made their stance clear. This boldness can catch others off guard, especially if they assume that someone who is typically quiet or reserved won't assert themselves when pushed. To the outside world, this might seem like an abrupt or dramatic move, but for the Sigma, it's a matter of maintaining their personal integrity and self-respect. They will never tolerate situations where they feel coerced, manipulated, or cornered. Their ability to pivot from silent observer to firm enforcer of their personal rules is a powerful reflection of their inner strength and self-assurance. While others might bend to group expectations or tolerate uncomfortable scenarios for the sake of social harmony, the Sigma will simply opt out of such situations. They'd rather be seen as difficult or uncooperative than compromise their principles or peace of mind. By removing themselves from a situation that doesn't meet their standards, Sigmas send a clear message: their boundaries are not negotiable, and they won't engage in dynamics that don't align with their values. In the end, the Sigma prioritizes personal respect over public approval, something that others come to admire, even if it leaves them puzzled or uncomfortable. Number 7. Instant need for control. Sigma males value self-determination above almost everything. When they're unexpectedly singled out in a conversation, meeting, or social gathering, they feel their carefully maintained sense of autonomy slipping away. It's as if someone barged into their personal bubble without permission. A Sigma prefers to decide when and how he engages with people. Being put on the spot robs him of that choice, causing an internal surge of irritation or even quiet anger. Because they're so private, they may have been analyzing the room or listening intently on the sidelines. But the instant they're forced to speak on cue, it flips a switch. They're no longer participants on their own terms. Instead of flowing with the conversation they chose, they're now reacting to an unwanted demand, which goes against the self-governance they live by. Number 8. Need for strategic responses. Although Sigmas can think on their feet, they thrive when given time to formulate a response that's precise and meaningful. They don't like giving half-baked answers or spouting quick replies just to fill silence. A Sigma male wants to ensure his words pack a punch both logically and emotionally. When someone puts him on the spot, he's denied the opportunity to gather his thoughts. He may still come up with something clever, but it won't carry the same impact he would achieve with a moment to prepare. There's a reason people note how Sigmas deliver sharp insights or well-structured arguments. They often plan them mentally first. With forced spontaneity, that advantage is lost. This need for calculated precision extends beyond words. Even in demonstrations or presentations, a Sigma wants to be ready. If he's yanked into a situation without warning, it feels like a cheapening of his potential brilliance, and he resents it deeply. Number 9. Calm but icy reactions. One of the most striking things about Sigmas under pressure is how collected they appear. When forced into an awkward public spotlight, they often adopt a demeanor that's both measured and chillingly cool. Their faces might show minimal emotion, their tone might drop to a calm register, and their eyes may lock on the person who singled them out, sending an unspoken message. "You don't control me." It can appear unemotional or even intimidating to onlookers. In truth, Sigmas process their feelings internally. Anger, frustration, or embarrassment might be flickering behind that neutral exterior, but they're adept at keeping it locked away. This contrasts sharply with people who get flustered or overtly defensive when challenged. A Sigma's ability to remain unmoved can unsettle those expecting a panicked or playful response. Number 10. Frustration with forced enthusiasm. Social norms often dictate that when you're singled out, whether for a toast, a spontaneous introduction, or a sudden performance, you should respond with an eager smile or a show of gratitude. Sigmas bristle at this. They refuse to fake excitement, passion, or joy just because everyone's watching. If they're not genuinely pleased about being called upon, they won't plaster on a grin to appease onlookers. This can come across as rude or aloof, but to the Sigma, it's about maintaining integrity. They believe it's better to show a limited but authentic reaction than to perform a hollow display of enthusiasm. Feigning an emotion feels like a betrayal of self, so they choose the path of genuine, if subdued, expression instead. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, And we'll see you in the next video.